Sir, you can start sharing, Divesh sir.
Okay. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Sangamitra, for the kind introduction. Uh, at the outset, I'd like to thank AORA India for this opportunity for letting me speak on a topic which is very close to my heart. I'll try my level best to do justice to this topic. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the topic which has been allocated to me is making your PPT speak louder than words. I am of the firm belief that slides should engage, not anesthetize. So, with this pretext, I like to build my presentation. So, at the outset, I like to thank my parent organization, Asian Institute of Medical Sciences, which is a 425 bedded hospital, multi speciality and super speciality, situated in the heart of Delhi NCR in Faridabad. We do have a anesthesia education program in the form of DNB, as well as we do have RA fellowship program from Academy of Regional Anesthesia. If you're interested, you can contact me for any observership program in regional anesthesia or focus. So these are my set of disclosures. I do not have any conflict of interest, neither financial. So it's just that I'm a great USG as well as POCUS fan. I've taken my references from PubMed. A couple of images are from Google. Now I'll be speaking around 40 to 45 minutes. And I've used a couple of AI tools to beautify my presentation. So what are the learning objectives? We learn how to design slides that teach, engage, and inspire. We'll discover the power of simplicity, storytelling, and visual hierarchy. Avoid common design errors that dull our message when we are trying to present. Transform our presentation from informative to being unforgettable. And let your PowerPoint speak louder than words, my dear friends. So I'll be covering my lecture in three parts. First part would specifically deal how to make a good presentation. Second part would deal with how to deliver a good presentation. And last but not the least, how to deliver a good webinar presentation. As we know, post COVID, we are in the era of virtual presentations and webinars. So the story begins, my dear friends. We get a call from national conference organizer that I'm speaking so and so. We are organizing a conference in the coming months. Will you be able to spare some time to speak on this topic or tell us the topic of your choice? So you are in a big dilemma whether to accept it or to say no. And once you accept, you are thrilled that you have been invited. And this was my actual state when I was invited for the first time for a national conference. So I'm sure this you can relate to yourself. So once you accept, then I believe that we should be doing a homework. This is how what I do for my presentations. I like to know what my audience is going to be, whether I am speaking for a national platform or a CME. Is it going to be a blend of postgraduate students and consultants or exclusively postgraduate students? This helps you to tone down or tone up the quality and the standard of the presentation depending on the audience. Know the time duration. This will help you in designing your presentation and the number of slides which you need to keep. In which hall and which time of the day your presentation is scheduled. This has a lot of impact because early morning, if you are going to open the hall, then might be your hall attendance would be less. Or if you are just prior to the lunch, then also might be your hall attendance might be less. Or if you're in the post lunch session, people are having good food and they have high glycemic levels, then that is going to impact their understanding. So you have to tailor your presentation according to that. Or maybe it's in the towards the last session of the evening. So depending on the timings, you have to introduce some innovative ideas so as to keep the attention of the audience whether it's an isolated topic or it is a part of session. This is very important because if it's an isolated topic, it's well and good. If it's in part of the session, you need to do an extra effort to know who other speakers are and what their topics are. So let me explain you. In my presentation, I'll be sharing what exactly to be done to make a good PPT, as well as the examples in which what thoughts have gone through my mind, what I have thought over, and what I have presented to that audience. This is AORA India 2024. I was allocated to speak on a topic, erector spinae plane block. It's not going to be rest in peace. So if you actually look at the program, it's a part of a focused session that is paraspinal biryani. This was coined by Dr. Amjad, the scientific chair. So if you actually look at it, we have first session by Rakesh. He's going to cover the anatomy. Then myself, then Dr. Ranjit for intertransverse blocks, and finally the paravertebral block. So the entire paraspinal blocks are going to be covered. So I have to be very specific. For just 10 minutes, I have to speak, not embarking onto others' territory, not to cover other topics that have been already covered. So that is the most important part, that you know your co-speakers, as well as if you look at it, the facilitator or the moderator for this session was Dr. Manoj Karmakar, who is not that in favor of erector signing block. So I have to make extra preparations because of the co-speakers as well as the moderator. So this is the importance, whether your topic is an isolated topic or a focus session, and who are your co-speakers and chairpersons. So, whenever in doubt about the topic, what exactly is to be covered, always ring the scientific chair. Do not hesitate. Just ring them that what are their expectations. I call the scientific chair as the Sutradhar, and Dr. Amjad was my Sutradhar in 2024. And this is an AI generated. Okay, so the scientific chairs would be more than happy to answer what is in their mind, so that we are clear what is expected as a speaker for that particular session. So if you're through, you understand what the topic has been allocated to you, you must gather as much information as you can about the topic. So where do I gather information, my dear friends? It's the textbooks, the latest edition. Okay, Miller, the latest is there for anesthesia purposes. If it is to be related to regional anesthesia, I go through the atlases which are available as ebooks to me. There are journals, RAPM, BJ, CJ, whatever you feel like, and do just toggle in YouTube the topic. At times, you can find a particular presentation which you are going to present, and you would get some idea as to what other authors have spoken about that. And if in doubt, do not hesitate in ringing up a knowledgeable personality about that particular topic which has been allocated so as to help you. Once you are through with the information which you need for that particular topic, is the most important task is to prepare a lecture outline. I consider this as the most important. I just scribble down on a register which I to myself. This is the register which I use, and it's almost around 500 pages, still not over. So this is how what a component of a good lecture outline looks to me. This is my idea, my dear friends. You are free to change it, absorb it, or modify it. I always try to include title slide. I'll explain you why. Then a greeting slide, then disclosures, and the lecture outline or the agenda about what I am going to speak about under the heads. Then the main slides will follow, will depend on the timing, the topic allocated. Then finally, we like to give a take home message or a summary message followed by a thank you slide. So this is what I was showing you. This is my register where I write down everything. So on the left side, you can see for yourself, there is an index. So suppose I was speaking for ISA Rajkot in 2023, it's written on page 26. The reason for allocating page numbers is you might need to fall back again because the topics might get repeated. This is just AORA 2022-23. I was speaking in Pune about quadratus lumborum block. So I wrote down whatever came to my mind, that what I need to present. Similarly, for each and everything, I do in a similar way, and you can try it. It will help you. So once you are through with your lecture outline, you have scribbled down notes, which platform to choose to present your presentation. I use Microsoft PowerPoint. Is it the only platform? The answer is big no. Keynote on Mac is there. And these days, Canva is becoming very popular among tech. The reason being, you can make the entire presentation in Canva also. My daughter who has just stepped into engineering college, she is using Canva. She tells me that it's a good tool to make PowerPoint presentations. I haven't tried. You can try Canva also. So, which edition of PowerPoint, my dear friends, you should use? The answer is Office 365. Student, other editions are there, but they will not give you the features which are needed to prepare a presentation which speaks louder than words. Why do I say that? The moment you purchase Office 365, you will get a special kind of an icon in your PPT when you open. This is the Office Designer, and this is an inbuilt AI tool which will help you in beautifying your presentations without making extra efforts. I'll show you in my subsequent slides what do I mean by that. So what are the guidelines for making a good PPT, my dear friends? Number one is number of slides. How many slides should we be having? Answer is, if your allocated time is 10 minutes, I use the formula multiplied by 2.5. So 25 slides. If you have loads and loads of content, make it less, make it 1.5. If you have less content, you can go up till 3 minutes, 3 slides per minute, but do not exceed that. The upper limit which I have generally kept for myself for 10 minutes is 30 slides. But remember, if you are speaking in a PG assembly, if you have been allocated a 40 minutes topic and the organizers are little liberal, you can exceed, then you can change this. So for every slide, you need to standardize the font heading. That is the main, that is for guidelines for making, and the subheadings. So I have standardized Cavallini for as a heading font and a text font Comic Sans. You can see for yourself in my all my slides throughout all my presentations for almost last 10 years, you will find these two fonts consistently. And what is the size? And because you remember, you are these days having LED screens and there are multiple of them. So use a broad font for heading, that is 44 I use, and text fonts generally 32 and above. What should be the color design? It should be a contrasting color so that it gives a good hue, and a blend of colors is what is necessary. So the most important aspect which we tend to forget whenever we're presenting is that we are presenting a script. We are forgetting that it should not be a script. It has to be like a narration. It has to be a story. Try to include your own personal experiences. Obviously, the audience wants to listen to evidence-based presentations, but they want to listen to your own case-based approaches. Include your own hospital experience. Make it like a story. No cluttering, please, my dear friends. Avoid lot of text. If you see as a beginner, what we used to do was we were having a lot of text. Follow the rule of six. This means do not have more than six bullet points with not more than six words in a slide. Have good number of visuals to say what you wish to say. For that, you need to keep thinking, how can I convey the message, what I wish to convey through a visual? So follow the rule of six, six into six. That means six bullet points, not more than six words. This is scientifically proven. So, my dear friends, always remember less is more. From where did this phrase come into existence? This was first used by in a poem in 1855, but it became very popular by an architect, Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, in 20th century, where he described the minimalistic approach to architecture. So always remember that less is more. Keep it as simple as possible. So let me take you through two slides. On the left is the written one. You can see for yourself. It's a market analysis report. On the right, the same thing is being depicted through a pie chart. I'm sure if I were to conduct a poll, all of you would definitely give a thumbs up to the right side because it gives more information to me, and it's a more striking information which I can retain it, versus on the left side, it's all written and it is quite cluttered. As you can see for yourself, there are more sentences and words which a human brain can assimilate. So there lies the power of visuals, and in next few slides, I'll stress upon which all visuals you can use. So is it my own theory or am I speaking on some scientific evidence? The answer is there is a scientific evidence from Mayer's multimodal learning theory. Brain has two separate channels, my dear friends, the auditory and video to process that information. But the point is, they cannot work together in tandem at a very good pace. That there is some kind of a limitation, there is a limited capacity. So the best thing is you need to have a balance. Balancing act means the balance between the visuals and the text. So this is how I have used a GIF to impress upon that balancing act. So side by side, I'll keep giving you examples what I have used. Imagine this GIF is not there. It is simply written that you need to balance between the visuals and the amount of text. At times my brain would not have registered, particularly it is a pre-lunch or a post-lunch session. So this GIF would definitely open their eyes and make them forcibly listen to what, as a speaker, I am trying to say. So, what templates should we be using? There are inbuilt templates, majority of them in MS Office 365, even in free edition of Canva, which I tend to use sometimes. I borrow templates from them and slides go, and there are many tools. These are just a suggestive ones. You can choose a template. Now, coming on to, please look at my previous slide. I can present the same information in the white background, or I can get these logos of 365, Canva, and Slide Go from Google Images. So, which slide appeals to you? Definitely this one. So, this is the power of visuals. Even on a white background, if you want your slide should speak more than what the words should be speaking, then you can include a couple of these things. So what did I do? I thought over how can I make my slide interesting. So immediately I clicked me. Let's get the logos of the company. So from where do I get these logos? Google Images. Simply Google, I typed and I got these logos, copy pasted, and look, my slide has become more interesting. So the big question comes, what all visuals should we be including in our slide? So this is a list which I've been using in my slides in some way or the other over a period of years. It is up to you whether to incorporate or not. Number first is we talk in a very language in WhatsApp in form of emojis, my dear friends. So emojis is good. Thumbs up, thumbs down, sad, happy. You can use many emojis for this. What about icons? 3D models, stickers, smart art, pictures, GIFs, cartoons, famous quotes can be quoted. And at times I have used a couple of famous movie clips to bring the some kind of flavor to my presentation as well as to convey a message which I think can be better conveyed through a movie clip rather than a simple statement. So now look at this contrast with previous ones. You find this is written in simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Contrast to this, it has got some icons. So which is more appealing? The answer to me, and I'm sure if we conduct a poll, it would be this one. So did I make some effort to make this kind of a slide? The answer is big no. I just had Office 365. In Office 365, I typed all this 1, 2, 3, 4, pressed the designer button on top of it, and it started to suggest me various patterns. And I liked this pattern, and I can change the colors. There are so many options if you do them. And I found this to be appealing more to me. For example, for everything, it has got a beautiful icon. If I don't like icon, I click on that button and from the stock icons, I can change or I can get my own icon with any color. So this is the power of visuals, my dear friends, which I wish to impress upon. So as I said, once you have Office 365, you'll have a designer function. The moment you click this designer, you'll get these options. It's very easy to use. So as individuals, what we do is we are using PowerPoint, and some of you must be having Office 365 for sure, but we haven't made any attempt to serve to various functions which our Office 365 serves to us. So the moment you start to click each and everything on top of it, suppose I've clicked insert, I can insert images. I can insert my camera face, which my webcam is looking at. I can insert various shapes. The moment I click the icon, I get images, cut out people, stickers, video out, illustrations, cartoon. I can use any of these, my dear friends. I can use 3D models, smart art. So the point is, in order to use them for any slide, whatever information you have, just think, how can I depict that information more visually, more impactful, and then Office 365 designer function is at your service. So as I said, do explore MS Office 365 functions. You need to be very proficient in using transitions, particularly the morph transition and the animations. The animation which I use to present is the bounce, which is my favorite. In my subsequent slide, I'll show you what all I have done. So what about add-ins? In Office 365, my dear friends, there is a button for add-ins. The moment you click add-ins, you can add emoji tab. Slido is used by me for doing a live poll, provided you have a good internet connection. And if you want good images, you can get it from Pixabay or Pixabay. And if you wish to integrate AI into your PowerPoint, as you can see for yourself, which I've done, you can use ChatGPT. So the problem which we're facing as of now, majority of us is we do not explore all these functions and feel our PowerPoint is not offering us. Up till now, whatever I have shared with you is just simply the power of Office 365. And obviously, do not forget, it's here. Whatever I'm thinking, I'm trying to scribble down in my register, trying to present the same in an innovative idea. So if you do not find what you desire that in your mind that I should be having on my slide, as I always say, Google Baba ki jai ho. So this was my favorite dialogue until I thought today I was doing final touches. I just typed in Google Images, Google Baba ki jai ho, and this is what I got. I thought, wow, it is beautiful. Google Baba is blessing somebody. And once I read through, it was actually Mr. Amit Panchal on Twitter who had posted this in 2020. And what he said, in this digital age, Guru Purnima, thank you, Google, for everything. So at times your ideas are there in your brain. You think belong to you, but somebody else has already cracked them. So I was very amused that this I have been telling everyone. Say, as I always say, Google Baba ki jai ho. And it was already there since 2020. So always try to give acknowledgements from where you have taken your images or AI, whatever it is. So what about smart art? The moment you choose insert, as I've shown you smart art, you can convert any form of text into flowcharts, into pyramids, into pie charts. It's all inbuilt in PowerPoint. You need not have Office 365, but a simple PowerPoint would have smart art. Depending on your choice, depending on what is your mind, you create multi-level and you can just edit it. Like this, I use smart art. This is in my slides, you will find a couple of examples from which I have already used. This is gastric ultrasound. So this is the decision-making algorithm which I made with the help of smart art, and I used animation that is bounce. So you can see for yourself, this becomes very easy to show what actually I want to show instead of writing with the help of a text. So my emojis are very well telling the audience that you have to avoid full stomach. I don't need to say that full stomach has to be avoided. This emoji is enough that if you do not avoid it, you will land up in having aspiration. So this is the power of smart art and the visuals. So if you are not that comfortable in using smart art, what you can do is you can write in bullet points in a AI tool which is known as Napkin. Napkin will itself generate the entire flow chart or for the smart art for you. This is what I did for calculating the local anesthetic dose in pediatric patients, which I call it the mallet principle, that is the maximum allowable local anesthetic dose, and the CLAD, that is a calculated dose of anesthetic. So this way you can depict and people can take photographs for their remembrance also. So what is the role of AI in making these presentations? AI can help you design a lecture outline. For that, you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. Entire PPT AI can make. For example, Gamma AI, Slides Go, Canva. You can do a good literature review using SciSpace, PaperPal, Jenny. And Microsoft, my dear friends, is an inbuilt designer tool which you have to your doorsteps. If you wish to design images, try out Nano Banana from Google Gemini, beautiful tool which I use it. Videos from VO3 is my favorite. Grok is another alternative. If you wish to design music, Suno AI is another tool. So, my dear friends, I would share my thoughts. As far as lecture outline and entire PPT is concerned, I would give a thumbs down, thereby meaning I would not encourage you to do this. The moment you step into this world, what will happen? Your brain will go rusted. I'm telling you very honestly and very bluntly. We have been endowed as human beings with beautiful thinking capacities. Do not blunt them. Do not venture into this area. Trust me, and also tell your kids not to venture into the process where the entire thing is being developed by AI. Just use AI for selected ideas, for punchlines, for improving the grammar. Do use AI for literature review. I use SciSpace. It's a free version, although there is a paid version, but free version will give you, at times it will help you in reading the paper very fast. That is a good tool, but do not use it for creation of outline and entire PPT. Rest designer, we will be using in Office 365. Images, my favorite Nano Banana, and you will see in my subsequent slides what images I have created. Now, coming on to a very important aspect is I'll go one by one. How should we design our title slide? Title slide, my dear friends, is very important. It's an opening impression which you wish to give to the scientific committee organizers as well as to the audience what I'm going to speak about. It should reflect the topic. It should reflect your personality, what you are trying to say. These days, when you look at the scientific programs, your name is written. Previously, there was a time when it was written from which institution you belong and your city. So it's good habit to state your qualifications, your designation, your place of work. Place of work is very important because that is the place where we are actually earning our bread and butter. And from there, we get the patients, we do our blogs, we are recording there. So it's always good to include your place of work. So I'll take you through some of the slides. For example, if I had to present in an alternative way this topic the same, this is an AI generated image with the help of Nano Banana. I submitted my image and told I have to speak on this platform, kindly generate. So I could have used this alternative image, which could have shown how I make my PPT. Alternatively, in AORI 2025 at Amritsar, I was asked to speak at ultrasound guided quadratus lumborum block tips and tricks. So I typed the same. My designer suggested me few things. Then I wanted something. What do you mean by tips and tricks? Tips and tricks means I wish to give something else, something brain scratching. So I opened up another PowerPoint presentation, blank one. I wrote a bulb which is flickering. So I got this. So I thought this reflects my personality as well as the topic which I'm going to introduce. So you have seen, I have given my qualifications, where I work, and for international, obviously you should include your country's flag. This I was speaking in 2024 at ISIC on Patna National Conference, where I was given a topic, facial plane blocks for acute pain, fad or fab. So I thought it's kind of a googly topic to me, where I have to address both pro and con sides. So this is how I thought. मेरे दिमाग में आया एक लट्टू घूम रहा है. So I translated it and then put it in the designer, and this is what I got and I used it. So make it more impact. Another thing, I was speaking on a platform on gastric ultrasound. So how do we do gastric ultrasound? So this entire stomach, we do it with the help of a curvilinear probe. I created a small image, a cutout image, and did an animation, that is swivel animation. And on the backdrop, I got from the 3D format inbuilt in Office 365, the entire intestine. So this is how you can make your title slide look more interesting. I was speaking, and last year at SGPGI Lucknow, I was allocated to speak on a spine sonography, and the organizers was very smart. They allocated me the topic ultrasound and neuroaxial anesthesia, time to awaken the sleeping giant. So I did some tricks. I wrote giant, sleeping giant, and this is what I got from designer. And I felt this is very cute and would engross my audience from the very beginning, from the title slide. This sets the stage that you are going to speak about what topic and what is your personality. And in the spine sonography, this was my next slide. See, we know that spinal anesthesia we perform day in and out, and it's our bread and butter block. And we have given parties in the form of, at our times, we used to give in the form of samosas. These days, we give in the form of parties, in the form of beer or something. So I thought, let me put it that way. Let me set the stage for myself. This is how what I got. So I wrote in Google Images, this is from 3D icon, bread and butter. So straightforward, I got that. This I got from Google Images. And at times I told, we have to experience failure. And at that times we are sad. So this is how, with the help of an emoji, I depicted Amsterdam. So I'm sure this visual carries a lot of impact in the mind of the audience. So next important slide, which I include, always tend to include, is greetings. Depending on whether I'm speaking on a national platform, international, always pay due credit to the place of work, because that is the place, as I said, you are doing your blogs, you are recording images, so we must pay due credit. So this is how I have taken the hospital image in the background and different form of greetings, sometimes namaste, sometimes like this, and Google Images will give you different form of greetings. So coming on to, I was speaking at Singapore. So what I included was, I included my map to show from which country I belong to. I included India Gate. So it is a national monument, include something of that interest. I showed them, to be with you, I have traveled almost more than 4,000 kilometers. So this is how you can create a good greeting slide, depending on whether you're speaking on national or international platform. Next important aspect is disclosures. So almost since 10 or 12 years, I've started to use disclosures. Previously, I was not using. I heard some of the international speakers, they are very honest. Be honest in projecting what you are actually going to speak about. Speak about any conflict of interest, any bias elements are there. So I remember listening to Dr. Rafael Blanco. He said, I've been asked to speak on chordatus lumborum transmusculus QL3, but actually I've described 1 and 2. So definitely there would be some bias in my presentation showing my tilt towards QL1 and 2. I liked his honesty and all. So always includes conflict of interest, whether you have received some grants from pharmaceutical. In India, it is not generally there, but in Western countries, they do receive some grants, and at the same time, they are trying to speak on that same topic. So this is always variations of disclosure slides you will find from myself. And recently, since last 1 year or so, I have started to include the AI logo, because I use AI to beautify my presentations. So I do not want anybody to stand up and tell me that, look, you have used AI, you're not mentioned. So this is how you can design your disclosure slides. So this is another slide which I presented in ISICON Patna, where the facial plane blocks was allocated to me. So I wish to say that our expectations are that facial plane blocks should provide anesthesia similar to peripheral nerve blocks, but they only provide analgesia. So, how I thought that if I simply write, nobody's going to register that. Let me write expectations, reality, then in the form of emojis. I try to put, and I think this makes it more appealing and more relatable to the audience. So, similarly, in that lecture, the biggest challenge, as you know, for facial plane blocks we face, whether we are in the correct interfacial plane or not. So yes or no, I thought, let me depict this way so that people would be able to remember for all their life that it's not that easy to give a facial plane block. There are certain tips and tricks which were followed after this. And the same thing, as I said, there's so many facial plane blocks. As the game ended for facial plane blocks, so I suddenly thought to myself, once Shah Rukh Khan said, picture Baki Abhi Mere Dost. Well, let me say. Then I went to Google. As I said, picture Baki Abhi Mere Dost. Immediately, it got me this clip. So this is how you can use movie clips, quotes, GIFs, cartoons to make your presentation more visually impactful and keep the audience engaged even after their post-lunch session. I'm sure they're going to be quite awake. So recently at AORA 2025, I was at Amritsar. The tagline was, come to Amritsar, you'll have a good food, good hospitality and all. So I thought, I'm presenting on quadratus lumborum block. Let me take the help of AI and design my learning objectives as a menu card and drop it into a restaurant. I chose a very sophisticated. I could have chosen a dhaba also. I designed this image with the help of a nano banana. You can do that. It gives a visual appealing effect. So when you talk about anterior quadratus lumborum shamrock approach, somebody calls it thumbs up sign, somebody calls it Republic of Ireland cloverleaf or PQRST, and the Jens Boglum, the person who described it, calls it a TQL block, transmuscular quadratus lumborum block, as a tequila block. So this is how I represent, and I'm sure if I'm an audience and if I'm hearing quadratus lumborum for the first time, I can have a visual memory that it can be represented in the form of thumbs up, PQRS in the ECG form, or a leaf with a stem with the three leaves, or a tequila shot. And the same thing, I wish to emphasize at Amritsar that quadratus lumborum can give somatic as well as visceral energy. So I was thinking in mind, how do I represent that? Suddenly a thought came, ek tir se do nishane. So had it not been in a era where AI was not available, I used similar for EOI 2 years back, where I showed it's a Google. If you type with one arrow, you can shoot two birds. They show an arrow going like this. It was very simplistic. I should have included. I forgot. But we are in the era of AI. I just wrote in a nano banana. I'm presenting on Coriolis lumborum block. I wish to show a man holding a bow and arrow that with one arrow we can provide somatic and visceral analgesia. So this is what I got, and this appealed to me, and I'm sure it must be appealing to you also. And I was speaking again on QL at Amritsar. So this slide I had to put in review of literature where to inject. As you know, for anterior shamrock approach, the text does not describe it clearly. You have to inject between the epimysium of the coriolis lumborum and the anterior thoracolumbar fascia. So kept scratching, kept scratching. Then I recollected, we are in Amritsar. Wagah border is close by. Why can't I show the Wagah border as the anterior thoracolumbar fascia, Indian side as the quadratus lumborum muscle, Pakistan side as the psoas lumborum major muscle, and I give them a visual. This is what a visual can be. And I told them, if you cross over the border, you can have very precise sindoor-like strikes, but you will have lumbar plexus by a proxy, and patient will have inadequate analgesia. And trust me, this took me, I was so like getting bugged up. QL have presented multiple forums. How can I change? How can I change? And it struck me just 3 days prior to the conference. I took the help of Nano Banana, and this is what I got. And some of you must would have been present and would have enjoyed that presentation. So, how do we evolve? How do we depict the timeline? I wrote Evolution in Designer. This is what it gave me, and it appealed to me. I was very recently speaking on 16th October at ISA Faridabad World Anesthesia Day conference, where I spoke on low flow anesthesia. This is what I represented, the evolution from conservation to convenience. And I could have written in simple bullet points, but it would not have that kind of effect. So, as I told you, I was speaking on low flow anesthesia. I wish to emphasize to the audience. I told them, do we waste water? They said, no. Do we waste petrol? No. Do we waste electricity? No. Then why do we wish to waste inhalation agents? So the four images which I am saying, you are seeing right yourself, have been generated with the help of Nanomana. No, I got from insert icons. This no, the cat which is moving, I got from GIF. Why? I got from the GIF. In Google Images, you type no GIF, it will give you all. And this don't waste electricity, the icon which you are saying, no, I also got from Google Images. So in order to say some things, at times it takes around 30, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and at times it takes days for me to depict the same. So whenever I explain low flow anesthesia or giving general anesthesia, I always tell my colleagues, my juniors, it's like flying an airplane. So we are in the era of AI. I just went to Google VO3, which is a video designing generation. I submitted my image and gave a prompt that I wish to fly a flight and tell them this thing. So this is what it gave me. And it created so much of like people were happy, they were smiling. And this happened very recently on 16th October. So I'm one a big fan of low flow anesthesia. In whichever OT I go, being a head, I have a little advantage to go and step into many theater. I feel like I am after them. Please use low flow anesthesia. So I got this image which is showing me in a very frowning way. Look, please use low flow anesthesia. So this is what is the power of visual impressions. And I particularly chose this with the help of a napkin, which I showed you. And this gave me this flowchart form, and it is visually appealing to everyone. Enjoy this song. This is the song which I created with the help of Suno AI on World Anesthesia Day. It's 1 minute song. Listen.
It's not audible.
It's
Divish,
not audible,
Sir,
sir.
it's not playing.
So this is how Suno AI created the World Anesthesia Day song. I just give a very simple. I was speaking that we might need rescue blocks at very recently last week at ISICON UP, where I had to show that at times you can get success, at times your blocks can fail. So kept thinking, how do I say? I gave my image. I said, show me as an anesthetist walking on a tight rope with a stick on my hand, and on one side is success and on other side is failure. So how did this idea come to my mind? एक आपने कहावत तो सुनी होगी, एक साइड कुआं है एक साइड खाई है. I just translated and this is what I got, and this was appreciated, and even I was happy making such slides. So this is, I think, 2 years back. I was speaking on last, and I wish to emphasize that if you use the total body weight to calculate the maximum allowable local anesthetic dose, then you are going to land up in last. It's advisable to use lean body mass. So I kept thinking, how do I present this? And this is what I got. A question mark I got from Google Images. I chose a black background. On one side, I wrote total body weight. On the other side, I wrote lean body mass. And these two emojis I got from 3D formats from designer. So in the same, I wish to show that we have a magic bullet that is intralipid. जब आग लगी होती है तो हमारी फायर ब्रिगेड होती है. This is the concept I wish to depict to them, and this is how I depicted. So I typed in designer that give me a factory or a give something fire or something. I wrote like that. So this is what it gave me. That is what I did. So this is regarding the mixing of local anesthetics. So I was speaking to last week the entire DNBs of all over India through NBEMS portal. So I wish to impress upon that if you can make, if you wish to mix, it's up to you. The onset would be delayed, and you will not get the best of both worlds. This is how I depicted. So I got both the GIFs from Google Images. The cocktail component was I typed cocktails in designer, I got a cocktail. So this makes it more visually appealing. Now, we are all regional anesthetics, that is a subspecialty. So, whenever you're presenting any topic on regional anesthesia, always try to include step by step approach. Give troubleshooting tips. People are interested in that. If I do not see my needle, what to be done? If I'm depositing the drug in a wrong place, what needs to be done? Review of literature. I'm very big fan of doing a review of literature, starting from ergonomics till last, the dosage, the adjuvants. Always include guidelines, prospecta there, latest literature, videos, and share your own experience. So for videos, my dear friends, I use the editing tool that is Windows Movie Maker. This can do a collage, trim, give you headings to put in. You can do anything whatever you feel like. So present your videos in a cinematic experience. So how do you see your videos? Actually, sometimes you're having popcorn, sometimes you're sitting in audience. So I use certain prompts to type in designer, this will give me. So this is a video of infraclavicular, which I presented in at AORA 2023. So I have labeled each and every component with the help of a video maker. Contrast that if I've not labeled, it's very difficult with a pointer you are trying to show somewhere your pointer is flickering like that. So let the audience have a clear cut clue what they are watching and where to deposit them. Include your experiences. I was speaking at last year at Yatharth, Greater Noida for the T-Care. So I included my experience, what I was doing in this year, infusions, femoral, adductor, now with nerve to vastus medialis, how I have transformed. We have done a DNB thesis on handheld dynamometer. This is how you can include your experience to make it look to the audience very impressive, and they would relate to you. Like if this guy has done it in this hospital, we can also do that. Same way I depicted this, I used the same figure in a different form. What should be the ideal RA cocktail for TKR? This is how I depicted. For proximal, for anterior knee coverage, you can use either distal or proximal adductor canal, distal femoral triangle or proximal adductor canal. For posterior knee coverage, LIA or IPAC, and do not forget to include multimodal analgesia. And I'm sure this way you can make them remember more. So the last but not the least is the take home message, what you wish to give. Don't worry, I have more another 20 minutes to speak. Kindly bear with me. So take home message. is called as summary, conclusion, key takeaway, most important slide. I feel it has to be very impactful. Use bullet points and use reasonable animations. I show you how. So this is my summary slide. I have used it a couple of conferences. I was speaking at ISECon Patna on facial plane blocks. I wish to emphasize on anatomy, anatomy, anatomy. I like Vidya Balan a lot. So I thought, what did she say? She said entertainment, entertainment, entertainment. Can I emphasize on this anatomy, surface anatomy, and sono anatomy, or anatomy, anatomy, anatomy? This way it clicked me, and I've been using, I will be very honest, I've used almost 7, 8 times to emphasize the concept of anatomy. What about thank you slide? Please thank the audience for their patient listening. Include some famous quotes. If you happen to be a brand ambassador, or if you feel the sense of belonging to the organization, whatever their next conferences are, do share the flyers. Always share the information how to contact you. And this is a small video you can design with the help of AI. So you can take a lot of help from AI these days. Always include acknowledgements and due credits. 5 months back, I was at Singapore, a famous lady from regional anesthesia circuit. She was allocated a topic to speak. The first thing she spoke is, friends, it's not a problem to take somebody's slide or images or screenshots. Problem is when people do not acknowledge. She was badly hurt. She had a very bad experience. So she said, you can take photos from in the audience, but if you wish to use in your presentations, do acknowledge. And I echo her sentiments. It has happened to me almost 4 or 5 times where people have taken my slides and I could visually recognize it's okay. You take slides, it's okay. So, but do cite that. At times you find a good YouTube video. Just if you've taken a screenshot, give it as an acknowledgement. I'll apologize if I have not given acknowledgement to any of the people from where I have taken. So create a QR code. You are citing a paper. Always cite a paper because you are just quoting one line. People are curious to know about more and more information. So always make a point to create a QR code. It's very easy. On a web page, you right click your mouse, you will get how to create a QR code. And in PDFs, I use this site. They are free sites. You can just type in how to create a free QR code. You can use this ME QR code and just create a QR code. My thoughts, this is philosophical. Uh, People are interested in listening to your clinical experience, my dear friends. If you get a call to speak on a topic where you have worked very less, so please refuse that. This is what I do. Follow the ethics because it's quite possible that you are a good orator. You might get information from here and there, but you will not be able to include your personal experience. So I follow this. It's all dependent on you. Now I have covered my part one. I'm left with part two and part three. Part two is very important. Once your presentation is through on the principles which I have said, next is how to deliver a good presentation, my dear friends. So rehearsal in front of mirror or a mentor or a colleague and friend, depending on your preferences. Why do you need to rehearse? Rehearse for the timings. No conference organizer would like that if they have allocated 10 minutes to you, you overstep. Please do not do that. Attire. I'm very much focused on the attire I wear. If I'm speaking for a lecture, I always wear a suit and a tie. If I'm speaking for a workshop, CME, I can wear a tie, or at majority of the times I'm wearing a blazer without tie. It's up to you whether you wish to wear that. And verbal communication is very important. You need to increase your voice pitch, go down, give appropriate pauses, and use voice modulation very properly. If you wish to convey a very solid message, then your pitch should go up. Give an appropriate pause. Look at the audience for their nods. So, is it the only verbal communication, my dear friends? No, non-verbal communication is very important. Your body language, hand gestures. Look into the eyes of the people who are sitting in the audience. Keep rotating your eyes. Acknowledge their nods. Pay attention to their disagreements. Then try to be flexible to change your statements. Avoid hands in your pocket. At the same time, keep observing the timer which is in front of you. It could be in the extreme corner so that you do not exceed your time. Where you should be standing behind the lectern or keep moving around. It will depend. If you're short of time, for example, in major national conferences, we're short of time, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, it's better to stand behind the lectern. done. If you're speaking on a PGSMB where you have lots of time, you can take a collar mic, keep roaming around, but try putting your hands in the pocket. We have faced this. I have faced this. Let I be very honest. How to overcome stage anxiety? First of all, have a belief that you are the best person to deliver that. Take a deep breath, do some little chanting, a mantra, or whatever you do it. Look into the eyes of the people. That will give you the greatest confidence. I'll tell you, initial 30 seconds or 45 seconds, you will have anxiety. Then you'll be all good, my dear. Make speaker notes if you are too anxious. Speaker notes you can make in the bottom. But if you wish to look at those speaker notes and then speak to the audience, then while uploading the presentation, request the AV person that at time when you are presenting, switch over your laptop screen to the presenter mode. The presenter mode would look like this. So this is your slide. On the right side, you will have your notes, which you have written in the bottom. And on the next slide would also be visible to you. At the same time, presenter view is very helpful. It gives you the timing on the top. So whenever I'm speaking on national platforms where time is a little constrained, and I have written some, scribbled down some notes. So what I do is I request them, please show me the presenter view on my lap. Rest of the world would see your entire PPT, but you yourself would see this view. It's okay, my dear friends, you can have a failure. It's okay to fumble, but do not give up. Have perseverance and resilience. Learn from mistakes and feedbacks. And whom should we be taking feedbacks? I'll tell you. And always remember that the memory of Janta is very short. Even if you're fumbled, they'll forget that. But do not go into a shell that you have made a mistake. We have evolved. So, as a speaker, we are bound to evolve, my dear friends. So, what are the post presentation activities? You have given a good, beautiful presentation. What do you do? Normally, we all post on social media, Facebook, Twitter. I had the opportunity. But I go a little extra step on very vital landmark topics. What I do is I try to create a collage of my slides and landmark articles. I give them as link as QR codes. This is what I have done in Twitter. You can see for yourself. I was speaking at Apollo Hospital Grand Rounds. Then the last I have created my slides collage and then given a view, and you can create QR codes also. And then an important aspect is gather honest feedbacks from whom? Persons of repute whom you can approach. To definitely ask somebody who's sitting in the audience who is beginner in the field whether whatever I said was it going in your head. This will give you a clue whether you can understand the audience mind. Persons of repute have told me, Dr. Divesh, your slides at times are overwhelming. One of my friends told me, you include too many graphics. It disturbs my attention. I have taken those clues from my seniors, from my friends, and I've tried to tone down. But this is the best possible I could tone down. I don't know whether it reflects my personality or what is there in my brain. At times, I'm not able to tone down. Be flexible to change, my dear friends. So now I covered part two. We are in the era of webinars. So how to deliver a good webinar presentation, my dear. Always try to include a study room where you're sitting. If you do not have a study room, try to sit on a table chair on a dining table. Let it be very quiet atmosphere. It should have been well lit. Use separate microphones. I made a mistake. I was giving the first webinar during COVID on precautions to be taken. I started using the microphone of the computer. It was echoing loud. So use good earpods for that. Straightforward look into the camera. Avoid flashy backgrounds. You can blur or have a simplistic approach. Keep observing the reactions in case people are giving the, it's only normally not done. Whereas if you see presentations at times international, they keep asking, please give me reactions. So what to do if you're allocated the same topic for different conferences? What to do next? So QL, as I've said, has spoken on multiple forums. Always I do another quick review of literature as to what latest has come in QL. I try to rethink that I do not have to present the same slides in the same form. I try to change my slides. This is my mantra, my dear friends. It's up to you whether you wish to follow or not. So whatever I have said, is it my whims and fancies or there is some science to it? My dear friend, there is a science and the repeated practice of the science is an art. This is a beautiful article published in RAPM 2022, around 10 pages and a beautiful infographics. Please read it. Please read it, and it will be an eye opener how you should be making a PPT and how to deliver. And a lot of things you see in my presentation would you would find a reflection from this article. I'm thankful to the authors for this article. So the next question comes, are there any YouTube resources? I use YouTube like anything for learning to make good PPTs. This is the two links I'm sharing you. You just follow them. The new videos they come, they teach you how to go about morphing, transition, how to make use smart out. Please follow them. They are 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Listen to 1.5, 2x speed. And I use these resources also to make my slides. Now, I'd like to share my journey, my dear friends. So, it all started when I was doing my MD at MP Shah Medical College, Jamnagar. This is 2000. Okay. So, at that time, computers had just started to come in. So, my head of the department got a computer for his personal use. He was kind enough to tell me that I've got a computer. Can we do something? So I was fortunate that my dad, being a government officer, he also got a computer very early. And since 1998 December, we had computer at our place with internet connection. So I had used something. I had an email ID since it was just a beginning. So I said, previously we were presenting all our lectures through those transparencies, that projector. I'm sure somebody of you would be able to recollect. So I made a PowerPoint in this computer. Okay, this is AI generated, but this is actually what happened during that time. So our seminar room looked almost like this. So what we did on our table, we placed a small stool like this and placed the computer on that. And we were 40 of us. Maybe the last person could not visualize, but this is what we did. And slowly we got an idea that we need some kind of projector to project it on screen. And within 6, 7 months, government of Gujarat, through some of the resources, we got it. So this is how I started my journey. This was the seminar presentation, which I did in front of all my co-PGs as well as senior PGs, faculty members at MP Shah Medical College. So, my dear friends, I owe this to my PG teacher, my mentor, Dr. Pramod Kumar. Right now, he's leading a retired life at Ahmedabad. He's a true visionary. So, I bow down to him for this thing which he inculcated, that do something different. And till date, I am trying my level best to do different. So this was on an emotional note, my dear friends. I am indebted to Indian Society of Anesthetists, city branches, state branches, national, for giving me an opportunity to speak on multiple forums. I am indebted to Academy of Regional Anesthesia, India. I'm a proud member as well as executive member of this society, Indian College of Anesthetists, and various scientific platforms. I cannot name them. There are so many who have given me these opportunities. I am inspired by a lot many of these media friends, maybe in terms of their orator style, in terms of their slide making styles, or a combination of them. So I apologize if I've forgotten some names or the other. So take home message, my dear friends, is I like to start with a small quote, my dear friends. A good presentation does not just transform information, it transforms understanding. Design your PPT like a story and not like a script. The philosophy of less is more has been validated by science and our audience feedback, and I have included references for that, my dear friends. Always try to engage the audience through visuals, polls, humor, and your own experience. My dear friends, always remember your presentation. You are the presentation yourself. Slides are just visual allies. Do not use them as your script. Always use an engagement triad, that is a combination of good voice, clarity in your mind, and try to establish a connection with your audience. Always practice, practice, rehearse before you give presentations. Reflect in the form of feedbacks. And whatever feedbacks you get, if they appeal to you, try to correct, try to refine yourself. Last but not the least, my dear friends, let your PowerPoint speak louder than the words, but never louder than you. So thank you very much for patient listening. I've already exceeded my time by almost 15 minutes, almost 1 hour. So through this platform, I take this privilege to invite all of you to the World Regional Anesthesia Congress of India at AORA 2026 Coimbatore. So I cannot see your applauses, but this is just a reminder that you have to applause for me. Thank you very much.
Excellent presentation as always, Devesh. It was mesmerizing, I will tell. Uh, I will hand over to Amrita. Two reasons. One, she is also a good, PPT maker. And second, I will have to leave for emergency craniotomy. Over to you, Amrita.
That was very nice, sir. Thank you, sir. Again,
So,
sir.
with Devesh permission, I will leave.
हेतल भाई पहले तो एनएससीआ देना है ना, हमारी रोजी रोटी तो वही है, प्लीज प्रेजेंटेशन तो बनती रही.
Thank you, Amrita.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Sir, actually, it was a amazing presentation. At least if somebody doesn't know how to go with the first slide also, if he goes through the way you took throughout the presentation, it was actually very good. And what I understood is, sir, the level of creativity you have is actually at another level. So first, I feel we should be more creative, then we can step into the world where you are actually standing.
You are also very innovative. Your slides are very good, Amrita.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot. Any people, I can see a lot of people, they are literally mesmerized by your presentation. It's not just me and Heetal, sir. So any question we can take. I think that as the AI things and all, if somebody is not used to it, it takes a lot of time to understand. So I think.
So AI, what we are doing in month of December, we have planned a masterclass on AI.
Okay.
On 17 and 18 December, Dr. Sangamitra Ghosh will share you the details, where myself, Dr. Subramaniam Mahankali, Dr. Amjad Maniyar, and Dr. Murli Thonda Bhavi will be taking the entire AI class for AOR India, and it will be available as a recording. So we are of the belief that all of us are using AI, no doubt, but maybe if we have a scientific understanding of AI, then we can use it better to our day-to-day usage. So it's just another month. We'll have that class. So I think Sangamitra is sharing her screen. We'll be announcing this class very soon.
Okay. Okay.
Right, sir. Sorry, I was missing in between to pick
No,
up.
no, no, it's okay. Perfectly all right.
And we will share soon. This will be a masterclass of the masterclass because 4 of our faculties are coming up and we all want to learn this, sir. And thank you so much for today's session. And
thank you for having me. And you have been doing a wonderful job, Sangamitra, of coordinating all these sessions. It's not an easy job.
The best thing, sir, she thinks of a topic which is actually the need of the hour. That's the best part. I think I should congratulate her for this amazing skill. Like,
ma'am, I too need to learn, na? It's not that our learning stops. Like, we understand that it is for fellows, but honestly speaking, आज का class हमारे लिए भी उतना ही जरूरी था.
That's very true. I can see 50% are faculties and 50% are fellows. So that means that this was the need of the hour.
Very true, ma'am.
Any question from the delegates we can take up?
We'll just check, ma'am.
Important question. Hello. Hi, this is Gaurav here.
Hi.
That was an
Gaurav,
amazing presentation. Thank you for that. My question is कितना time लगता है बनाने में वो बताओ.
हाँ, मैंने बताया बीच में, some slides are little easy, पर 10-15 मिनट से कम तो कोई स्लाइड में लगता, कहीं में घंटों भी लग जाते हैं. And at times I keep scratching my brain, and morning time, as you know, in the toilet is a good time to scratch your brain. So at times it takes a lot of time also. So entire PPT for today, I have, I counted, wrote down the man hours involved. So I took 1.5 hours to write the lecture outline. It's almost 10 pages in this register. So what I need to cover. And then it has taken me 8 hours to prepare this 88 slide presentations.
Wow. So 8 hours less.
Yeah, 8 hours is less.
But sir, I really
this was less because I had to get the same things from my old presentations.
So what I like the best about your presentation?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
It's Senthil here.
Hi, Senthil.
Hi, sir. Amazing presentation, sir, as always.
Thank you, Senthil.
Sir, ये मतलब you finish your slides at a stretch or you pause, you do over multiple
No.
days, multiple
It's
hours?
over the days. So it's almost 6 days for this presentation. We cannot create entire presentation in one day. It's not possible. Your brain will get clogged. You will not have ideas. So it's spread over a period of time. So I'll give you a small example. Next week, I have a presentation for DNB students pan India on intraoperative hypotension. So I'll first write down my outline. So I start 10 to 15 days prior. And if difficult topics and difficult moderators and chairpersons are there, like last year it was, so I had started preparing almost 4 months back for the talk on ESP would not be RIP, to be very honest. It depends on which platform you're speaking.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I
So,
like the
my dear
best
friends,
actually is
uh,
just put it like a story, not like a script. That I liked it very much. I think that makes the entire presentation as a one-liner.
so if you ask me a tip and trick, start with small things. That is, have Office 365 first. Start using the designer function and then slowly graduate and postgraduate and do PhD abovewards. So have Office 365. It's an amazing tool, and let me tell you. So any other question or any other comment before we conclude?
I think so.
Okay.
Sangamitra?
Sangamitra, are you there?
No more questions, I guess, sir. Everybody is
Okay.
too dazzled today to ask questions, and I think this session is more about going and learning it practically. Doing it now. Like you have given the maximum you can give us. Now we have to go and try now. Thank you so much, sir.
I'm more than happy to help you, any one of you, if you just can contact me in case you feel stuck somewhere and all. It's like I'll be more than happy. Thank you very much, AORA India, and thank you, Sangamitra, Dr. Hetal, Dr. Amrita, for this opportunity. I'm feeling truly blessed and humbled to be presenting.
Thank you so much.